Now come look at this.
What is Moose doing out here? Look at...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all species, welcome to our wrestling perspective. If you want to make it your wrestling perspective, hear me out. All you need to do, it's a sneaky one, is add Y. Because, you know, it adds it to the start. See what it spells? I'm smart. This video is a continuation of our weekly perspective, which basically puts you into the conversation of the week of professional wrestling. Well, this week we'll be looking at I'll get bashed for saying that like that way. But the 26th of April 2020 all the way up to the 3rd of May 2020. Yeah, we did have a couple wrestling programs and we're going to give our perspective on it. Well, the best we can, and hold on, there's a fly. It is OWP, our weekly perspective, episode 14. Yes, we've gone all the way up to 14 episodes. Woohoo! Celebration. But you know what we have to do? We have to kick it off. And who are we going to kick it off with? The big doge, the WWE's programming. And what do they kick it off usually with? It's Monday Night Raw. And what were the 5 points that stuck out to me? First point that stuck out to me for Monday Night Raw, Taz is officially back. Samoa Joe is officially back onto Raw commentary, and it was actually nice hearing that deep voice of his. Even in Transformers, his voice is very iconic in that cartoon, but why am I getting distracted by his voice? That was the first point anyway. Second point being for Monday Night Raw, you know what, I'm really behind this whole Apollo Crews having a bit of a more meaner side to him and not being the king of strong smile, because the way that he went up into backstage after Andrade, the United States champion, was running his mouth saying, oh, I'm the best this, I'm the best that, only to get a bad slapchits straight from Apollo Crews, saying that I want an opportunity after he beat him earlier that night. You know what? This Apollo Crews. Yes, this Apollo Crews. And third point being for Monday Night Raw, you know what I gotta say? The whole match between Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and Asuka, if it all went down and Nia actually legitimately won, I probably would have stopped watching the WWE. Because, you know what? Shayna and Asuka, they could have easily taken down Nia Jax. Even just Shayna by herself, even just Asuka by herself. I just don't like Nia Jax. Fourth point being for Monday Night Raw, yes, Shanti. We have the return of Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja. You know what? It's actually quite nice seeing him, and how the hell did he get more ripped since the last time? And fifth and final point for Monday Night Raw that stuck out to me, besides Drew McIntyre always being a great WWE champion, I'm going to avoid the WWE contract signing. You're like, what? Yeah, what? I'm going to avoid that because the fifth point, that's...
It'll happen again.
And it better not happen again. Fifth point being for Monday Night Raw, did you say sneaky Angel Gaza? Angel Gaza. I was just trying to do the Mexican pronunciation, but he was trying to do a little Valentine's, trying a little hit on to Charlie Caruso, the backstage interviewer. What a cheeky Angel Gaza he is. Now, right after Monday Night Raw, we move straight on to the Wednesday Night War between All Elite Wrestling Dynamite and the black and gold brand NXT. What were the 3 points that stuck out to me? We'll do 3 from each show. But before I say anything, I always say this before I judge anything. Wow, before I say anything. Don't worry, okay?
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Okay. But before we kick off this whole little Wednesday Night War judging and seeing who won, I always say this: you can love all professional wrestling, but some weeks you may have a preference in what you watch. Some weeks it may be that the NXT brand that did it for you, or it could be that AEW Dynamite did it for you this week. We don't know, but let's see who did it for us. Starting off with the black and gold brand NXT, what were the points that stuck out to me? First point that stuck out to me, all I'm going to say, Drake Maverick finally gets a point after putting all the emotion and passion that he has into these matches, because he's gone. These are the matches that you have to remember him by, because it could be his very last matches, and him being the Wolf of NXT, or Wolf of Wall Street, the way that he was saying that promo. And also, you know who else got a point? That Swerve, that Isaiah Scott. Yeah, with his glasses that are circle. I love the Cruiserweight tournament. Second point being, I gotta say it in a Mauro Ranallo voice, Dominic Dijakovic! His promo that was on Johnny Gargano, how he's like, oh, you want to take everything. I think it was a kind of a jab, because he was saying a lot about Revolt, and that there's two of them constantly cracking it. Could this be a jab not only towards Johnny Wrestling, but also the recently released, recently formerly known as Revival, now the Revolt, Fear the Revolt? You know what? Yes. Third and final point that stuck out to me for NXT was that main event. Oh, bask in his glory, because he is limitless. We're talking about Keith Lee. He retains his NXT North American Championship. My dog's not happy about that, but I'm happy about that. We constantly have arguments. Now on to All Elite Wrestling Dynamite on TNT. When what stuck out to me, don't worry about the dog, their opinion doesn't matter. First point that stuck out to me, we're talking about that TNT Championship tournament between Cody Rhodes. Yeah, because he can actually take that name now. See how the trademark fell out? Cody up against Darby Allin. You know, it was a pretty big shocker that Darby didn't get this one. But even though it was pretty animalistic of Cody to chuck Darby into his wife and Brandy get injured, but Brandy, after getting a person thrown onto her, comes out and gets water for her husband. That's commitment. That's loyalty. Second point being for All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. You know what? The Bubbly Bunch, Chris Jericho's Inner Circle, is starting to become one of my favorite stables of all time, because the Bubbly Bunch episode featured the lead singer of Slipknot, Corey Taylor. Not only that, it also featured the comedian, the fluffy one, Gabriel Iglesias. Yeah. Oh my god, he's fluffy. I can't do that voice, that's putrid. And Wee Man. And even Vicky Guerrero. There was a lot of hard hitters in the Bubbly Bunch. You know what? I might even do a flim flam.
Is Vicky Guerrero still in there?
Yeah, she actually got punched through the phone.
Yeah, good on her.
Third and final point for All Elite Wrestling Dynamite that stuck out to me was Lance Archer versus Dustin Rhodes. And you know what? I really enjoyed this match because Dustin Rhodes still gave it his all, and he's actually a fantastic wrestler. He should get more praise than what he already does. And Lance Archer, there was no shock that he was going to go to the final, but it's a shock that he's going up against Cody at Double or Nothing. I thought he was going to go up against Darby. But either way, Lance Archer right now is so dominant, even though Jake the Snake Roberts has been away from him, hasn't taken away from his intimidation factor. I might have to actually go for Lance Archer to take this. And ding-a-ding-a-ding, who won the war, the Wednesday night war between AEW and NXT? It was an actual hard one for me, but just because of the pops that came out of that Bubbly Bunch and the Flim Flam, we're talking about All Elite Wrestling Dynamite won it this week, yeah. NXT won it 2 weeks before. AEW comes back with a sneaky pinfall. Now, straight after that Wednesday night war, we're moving straight on to NXT UK, to the wrong part. Now, I obviously know that NXT UK is another replay, so let me bring up another fond memory of mine that I have from NXT UK, and I've got to say the Pete Dunne match with Joe Coffey from Gallus. Whoa, burn, burn. I love their whole taunt that they do. It's incredible, but that Iron King had an incredible match with the Bruiserweight. That's my memory for NXT UK this week. Now, straight after that NXT UK brand, where does that take us? It takes us on to the blue brand, Smackdown on Fox. What were the 5 points that stuck out to me? First point being, Daniel Bryan's promo was straight fire. Gave me the goosebumpsies. He said exactly the truth. It was the Money in the Bank that created the whole Yes movement for him to go forward. And you know what? I wouldn't be mad at Daniel Bryan winning a Money in the Bank again, but with the people that are in it currently, whoo! I wouldn't be mad at anyone besides Rey Mysterio. Second point being for Smackdown on Fox, that creepy vision net that Bray Wyatt always manages to make it look like masterpiece. He was reading a book called The Black Sheep on the Firefly Funhouse, but he was directing it straight towards the old Black Sheep. We're talking about the new Strowman Express, whatever's on his t-shirt, the new Universal Champion, Braun Strowman. You know what? I want Bray to take the belt off him as soon as possible, and I cannot stress this enough. Braun Strowman's physique, how he looks with that belt, it looks like a little toy belt on him. No. Third point that stuck out to me, you know what I gotta say? How the hell could they even make the Money in the Bank match more confusing? See my face? I'm just blurred as it is, because you're gonna have the women's Money in the Bank and the men's Money in the Bank happen at the same time, but it's a corporate Money in the Bank, and they start at the level 1 of the WWE headquarters and move to the roof. What? Straight on to the fourth point for Smackdown on Fox. And you know what I gotta say? The New Day, I was so pumped seeing the 8-time WWE World Tag Team Champions come out and put on one of their great performances, but they ended up getting destroyed by the newly put on the main roster Forgotten Son trio. What? No, man. Yeah. Why? Fifth and final point being for Smackdown on Fox, I was really shocked, but I'm actually happy that we're seeing Otis Dozovich, or just Otis, entering into the Money in the Bank. It's just going to be hilarious if he actually does try to climb the ladder, because he's massive. He's like a muscle ball. And Otis, he must be doing something right in people's eyes, because he's getting this singles push. Where's Tucky? Now on to other wrestling besides the WWE. And talking about other wrestling, where does that take us? Straight on to Impact Wrestling's Rebellion Day / Week 2, and what were the 3 points that stuck out to me? Woo! First point that stuck out to me, the Fatal 4-Way that kicked off the whole Rebellion 2020. You know, it kind of seemed like a tag team match at first, and there was a lot of comedy for an X Division match. Listen, I'm not one to judge spots here, but I would have loved to see them go at it more than them trying to do, grab from behind, grab from behind, grab from behind. But still great. Second point being the Havoc and Rosemary match. Even though it looked like Havoc was going to go up against Talia Valkyrie, Rosemary stepped in, and you know what's pretty crazy? There was chains, weapons, everywhere, all straight carnage, and Rosemary knows how to take down a bit of Jessica Havoc because she's used to a bit of chaos. That's cheesy as hell. Third and final point for Impact Wrestling Rebellion Week 2 / Day 2, whatever they want to call it, because it got split into two, the pay-per-view. That rhymed. But we're talking about that actual triple threat that was meant to go down for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, when Tessa Blanchard was meant to defend it up against Eddie Edwards and Michael Elgin. But since the situation didn't go down and Eddie Edwards, it sounded like he had a blocked nose, and Tessa Blanchard was currently stuck in Mexico, they had to improvise. Michael Elgin walks straight into the ring. He's like, crown me as your new champion, only to hear the music of Moose. And we're like, what's going on? Moose comes out, opening his robe, displaying the old TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and that led us straight to a triple threat match for the old TNA Heavyweight Championship, and it also had Hernandez in it. What? This was hard hitting as it was, and you know what's great? I actually liked that Moose dressed up as the Ultimate Warrior, because the Ultimate Moose ended up victorious, and that TNA World Heavyweight Championship, that old big gold that they tried to do a bootleg of, actually really suits Mr. Impact Wrestling. Now that moves us straight on to MLW Major League Wrestling and AAA's Super Series. This is week 4, and the first point that stuck out to me, I really noticed this, but Triple R or Triple A, whichever they want to pronounce it, they really love their tactical trios, like the whole Army Gear tactical trio wrestlers. Nothing wrong with it, it's just there's a lot of them. Second point being for Major League Wrestling and Triple R Super Series, who wants to cook with La Parka? Because he always manages to put on these great shows. Like last week, he put Sleeping and Waking Up with his partner. Now he's gone back to the cooking show, making some terrific pork with his sons. How is this wrestling? It's making me hungry. So I just cooked what La Parka made. That was nice. Okay, moving straight on to that third point. And you know what? Thank the Lords, or thank whatever's there. Whatever you believe in. Okay. Thank you that Injustice actually lost, because I cannot stand that trio. But, you know why I'm even more happier? Because MLW is still a point forward. Because it's MLW 4 to Triple R 3. And let's see what happens next week. Still got the taste in my mouth. And that was our weekly perspective, episode 14. But before we finish this off, there was 2 pieces of news that I have to address. Apollo Crews is now out of the men's Money in the Bank. Apparently this could be storyline wise, but it's a shocker regardless, because I was really hoping that for him to really shine in this, and him getting this TV time is great, as as it is. Look, I'm getting a couple burps in. And he's no longer a king of strong style, so it's great. And also, this is on the top of a sad note, but Curtis Axel's WWE release. He is a son of Mr. Perfect. He did have an illustrious career, even though there's bits and pieces that you can actually remember of it. Curtis Axel, you think of it, he's a known tag team champion there, winning multiple WWE Tag Team Championship reigns, and even his recent WWE Tag Team Championship reign with the B Team and Bo Dallas. And he also held the Intercontinental Championship, and he won it. Right, I think it was on his father's birthday. So it was kind of sad to hear that he did get released, but you think about it, at least he achieved what he could have achieved, and who knows? Maybe he comes back and becomes WWE Champion like a Jinder Mahal. Whew. Also, before we finish off this video, we are on Facebook. So if YouTube doesn't do it for you, you can hop onto Facebook. Go straight onto Facebook, type in Our Wrestling Perspective, and we do some daily posts. We keep you up to date when we put up videos, and we also do a couple throwbacks. But if Facebook isn't a one for you and you're like that 140 or to 280 character type person, you can move straight onto that white bird. We're talking about Twitter, and we are at OWP YouTube. That's when we do a lot of throwbacks. We do a lot of retweets on old matches that we enjoyed when we were coming up in the world of professional wrestling. Yeah, so if you enjoyed that video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. But if you want to do the second step, guess what the second step is? See that red button? That's a subscriber. And once you click a subscriber, you officially become a part of the OWP Galaxy. But if you want to be up to date as well, you just need to spank that notification bell, and that keeps you aware when we do a video drop whenever. Yeah, you could be in a forest, it says, our weekly perspective is up. Don't you like that power? And I also got to say thank you all for supporting us, and thank you to the OWP Galaxy, and make sure to stay safe, because this is pretty shocking times that are happening now. But if we stick together, stay inside and watch wrestling, before you know it, it's all over. And then I can fly.
I believe I can fly. I believe I